We like the access it provides the media, and more to the point, we like how it's easy to usher the media out afterwards. So we are, I think everyone knows, certainly anyone who has heard me speak publicly anytime in the last week. I know I mentioned this at a couple different dinners on Saturday. It's been on the forefront of my public remarks and on the forefront of my thoughts and heart in the last 10 days or so since we got the word that the federal government was turning off the SNAP cards as of Saturday. And that is that there's a heartbreaking deadline that we face this Saturday, November 1st, when tens of millions of people in the United States will lose access to food resources. In our state, it's well over 1 million people. In our county, it's 71,000 people, 31,000 of whom are children. If you want to think about it in these terms, those 71,000 people just in Lucas County, if they were their own city, they'd be the 7th largest city in Ohio. The 31,000 kids in Lucas County who are going to lose access to food would be larger than any of Toledo's suburbs. I mean, any one of them, Sylvania, Maumee, Perrysburg, you add them all, none of them add up to 31,000, and yet that's just how many kids are going to lose food this Saturday. So the county, who, through their system, they provide these services to citizens. They actually received the word from the federal government about 10 days ago. There was the news conference down in Commissioner Chambers last week, and it's been, it's been the focus of our community ever since, at least in my judgment and in my the work that we do up here. There is a lot of information that we want to share with the public over these last days and hours before the deadline. I know that there's going to be a media event tomorrow that is more focused on, I guess the audience for tomorrow's news conference would be more potential recipients of SNAP card benefits, potential people who receive those benefits and we'll have them cut off Saturday. I think that is the focus of tomorrow's event, sort of communicating with them what's going to happen, where resources may exist for them. Today, I think the audience is slightly different. Same subject, but a slightly different audience. Today's audience, in my judgment, would be potential donors, potential supporters, people maybe who aren't necessarily recipients of SNAP benefits, but are generous of spirit and generous of financial and capable of financial means, who can meet the moment we're in as a community and donate to the cause, to this cause. So that's the audience for today's event: potential donors, potential givers, those who want to help. And so that's what we're going to talk about for the moments that we're together today. And really, among the first people to step up and recognize the challenge we face, or the first entity in many ways, was Toledo City Council. We're joined by several members of council today: Dr. Brittany Jones, Matt Driscoll, George Sarantu, Nick Comives, and our new president, Vanice Williams. They're all here with us, and I mentioned George, didn't I? Yeah. Okay, good. I'm sorry. I went out of order because I wanted to say Vanice for last, and she's the new president. I couldn't remember. Anyhow, but they passed an ordinance that was brought to City Council by Nick Comives. Nick brought an ordinance, and I want to give him the credit and the recognition for doing that. He brought an ordinance that provides $50,000 from the city of Toledo to meet this moment. We're going to hear from Nick, and he's going to talk about those $50,000 and what the city is committed to do as a result of this moment. But we're also here today because Mercy, Bob Baxter, the President and Chief Executive Officer of Mercy, is with us, and we're going to hear from him too. Mercy has met the moment and has decided to match what the city of Toledo did and match the generosity of Nick's ordinance. And though I suppose I'll let Bob speak more directly to it, what Mercy has decided to do is to match that 50,000 and, help our community build momentum toward what we need to do to meet the moment we're in. I think maybe it goes without saying, and if not, I'll just plainly say it. We're hoping that other organizations in town respond the way that Mercy has and the way that Council and Councilman Comives has. I think that's what we're doing today. We're hoping that we have stumbled upon a matching fundraising gift program. And thanks to Mercy, who, frankly, they reached out to us. We didn't reach out to them. They reached out to us and said, it's a great idea. We're in for the same amount. And what we're trying to do here is to get others in our community, either individuals or corporate partners who want to be a part of addressing a problem that, frankly, shouldn't exist in our country and our community. Without getting too political, we're living in a world where 71,000 residents of Lucas County are going to have their food cut off on Saturday while a $300 million ballroom is being built on the grounds of the White House, and wrecking balls are swinging to make that happen. It just seems like there's a disconnect between the elites who would use that ballroom and the rest of us who need the services that we're trying to provide. So at any rate, with that, that's why we're here. Thank you all for being here and helping communicate that message. Without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Councilman Comives.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everybody. I'm going to put a few more numbers and stats to what we're talking about before I continue on. 85% of SNAP households have at least one person who's working in them. So if you think this doesn't impact anybody you know, you're probably wrong. 40 to 50% of homeless people have jobs and rely on these SNAP benefits. The reality is that food, housing, insurance, and everything is increasing in cost, making it even more burdensome to those who rely on these important benefits. Our country's financial struggles are not a result of a working mom of three who fails to be able to provide the food to her family. It is the millionaires and the CEOs who are writing off their yachts that are really impacting our budgets. This is also an economic problem. $1 in SNAP benefits generates $1.80 in economic activity in our region. That money pays your neighbors. That money goes to the folks who work in Kroger, who might deliver the food to a Kroger, or to somebody who works in a corner store in your neighborhood that happens to offer access to food for people who are on SNAP benefits. This is not how City Council wants to spend our money. We are ecstatic that the government offers this opportunity. The federal government offers the SNAP program to our community. This is, I would go on a limb maybe to say, how we feel our tax dollars ought to be spent. So we decided that we needed to step up to the plate because we recognize how important this is to our community, to our economy, to people's lives. This is about people. It breaks my heart to think that we're living in a time of such cruelty where a family is denied food, especially leading into the holidays. It's a real problem. So we are calling on entities locally, of course, to step up to the plate, but we're certainly calling on our federal government, who has a reserve for an instance such as this. That's currently sitting on about $4 billion in opportunity to provide food to families all across the country. This is a choice by the White House to deny those benefits to working families across the country. This is also an opportunity for our state government, who's sitting on a $3 billion rainy day fund, to step up in this moment and provide benefits to Ohioans who desperately need them. And so we're grateful to entities like Mercy, who can step up in this moment with us to show real leadership, to show real care and concern for Toledoans, for Ohioans. So we're very grateful and so glad that you can join us. I was talking with Mindy just before this press conference began, and the reality is that many of the food banks they serve are already struggling, are already running out of food for people. And that number, the number of visitors to their facilities is only going to increase after Saturday. So I'd encourage you to consider donating, like the city of Toledo has, to entities like SeaGate Food Bank. Your money goes a lot further when you donate directly to SeaGate instead of just going and buying food on your own and taking it somewhere. So please give money if you have the means directly to SeaGate and other food banks, so that way they can make the most of your dollars, which is exactly why we decided to give directly to them. And Mercy is doing the same. And we're calling on other institutions in our community to step up to the plate as well in this moment. This is truly an economic crisis in our community. It's a food crisis in our community, and it couldn't really come at a worse time. So I'm really grateful. You know, I hate having to do doom and gloom. I want to celebrate the things in Toledo because Toledo is such a great place. And I think one of the things that makes us so great is that when we need to, we step up to the plate and we take care of our neighbors. We believe in caring for one another. We don't want to see people struggle. And those who are willing to watch people struggle for a political game really should think differently. And it's a real shame that we have to even have this moment. So I am super grateful. Maybe I wrote the ordinance, but all 12 members of council co-sponsored this legislation. All 12 members of council immediately said yes to this. We didn't even wait to have another meeting. We entered this in immediate consideration. So I just want to really thank my colleagues who always step up to the plate when there's a moment of important need in our community like this. And I'm glad that it can inspire others. Our work inspires others. I hope it inspires you like it has inspired Mercy. And so I'm going to stop talking and allow Bob from Mercy to have a moment to speak on why they've decided to step up to the plate. And I hope that others who are in a position like Mercy consider doing the same thing as well. So, without further ado.
Thank you, Doug. Good morning, everyone. It is really just such a privilege to be surrounded by such community-minded problem solvers who have taken a leadership position on this issue. So I just want to say thank you for everything that you're doing. We're incredibly honored to stand before you today in collaboration with the City of Toledo's announcement of its financial commitment to the community during this difficult time. As a direct result of the leadership that the mayor has shown, that City Council has shown, Mercy Health is matching the city's commitment to help support the most vulnerable in our community through a gift to connecting kids to meals. As many of you know, Mercy Health began its ministry in Toledo 170 years ago when the Grey Nuns came to our community and founded the first hospital, which is now St. Vincent. The sisters came to Toledo because of the church's plea for help in caring for children in the area who were orphaned when their parents died due to one of the many cholera outbreaks that took place during that time. Since then, we've been committed to caring for our community with a focus on the poor and underserved. During our community's darkest days, including the Spanish flu, whether it was the diphtheria epidemics at the turn of the century or most recently COVID, the legacy of our foundresses has guided Mercy Health in providing care to our community. Today we're faced with a serious threat of food insecurity, and our mission calls for us to extend the compassionate ministry of Jesus, and there is no clearer way that we can fulfill that calling than to help ensure that every member of our community has access to food. Mercy's commitment to the community with these funds is the start of a larger campaign, as the mayor mentioned, to help address the current issue. We've partnered with several organizations that will provide food collection centers where the community can drop off food products, hygiene goods, baby formula, as well as pet food. The list of partners continues to grow, and we are very grateful for those that have already answered the call of support. These groups already include the Toledo Federation of Teachers, the Northwest Ohio Building Trades, and Toledo Public Schools. This current campaign is in addition to the programs that Mercy Health already has in place to help support our children, such as Help Me Grow, Early Head Start, and the Getting Healthy Zone. And if the community feels more comfortable making monetary donations, the Mercy Health Toledo Foundation has established a fund that will collect donations and return 100% of those donations to SeaGate Food Bank in Connecting Kids to Meals. Just in conclusion, flyers are available that provide more detailed information to help support this important initiative. And Mercy Health remains grateful to all the community members that have answered the call to help serve the most vulnerable in our community. Thank you for the opportunity today.
There are a lot of organizations in our town that work in this space. Two of them have been mentioned today. Councilman Comives talked about Toledo SeaGate Food Bank, and then Bob just talked about Connecting Kids to Meals. We have representatives from both organizations who are here today, and we'd like to hear from them, starting first with Mindy Rapp, who's the Executive Director of the Toledo SeaGate Food Bank of Northwest Ohio.
Thank you very much, Mayor. First of all, thank you, everybody, for what you did. I think you got the ball rolling, and where we live is a fabulous place. We may hear jokes and everything about Toledo, Ohio, and but I can't think of another community that is more caring. Over the last week, we have seen our online donations start coming in on a steady basis, which we haven't seen in a very, very long time. A lot of different organizations wanting to know how to do food drives. So on our website, which is SeaGateFoodBank.org, you can go on there, you can donate, you can volunteer, you can see how to set up a food drive. It's really pretty simple. And when I talked to Matt from Mercy, Mercy gets it. They don't want to make this difficult. They don't want to say, look at what we did, pat ourselves on the back. They just want to be able to feed people as our council and our mayor. So with that, I just want to say thank you. I already spent most of the money. But I had to strike while the fire was going, so I can get stuff in really, really quick. So yes, we can do this. We can take care of our own. Hunger, healthcare, housing should not be political, but unfortunately in this day and age it is. So we have to do what we need to do. We just went through the summertime when we had 19 loads of protein and fresh dairy cut when Doge was going through and cutting everything. And so our summertime was really pretty difficult. There was quite a few things that we needed to purchase, which we wouldn't have normally had to do. So we're kind of running behind right now. Oops. Yeah, so I see that happening too, because what we were told from the USDA is all of the orders that have already been purchased for us will continue to come in, but any of the orders that have not been purchased, they don't know. So again, we might be going through a summertime when we had to purchase quite a bit of food. So this is going to be an ongoing need for a while. And hopefully we'll get past this and everyone will have what they need. So thank you all.
Oops, sorry, thank you. And Bob, in his remarks, spoke specifically about Connecting Kids to Meals. Aaron Pauly, the operations manager of that organization, is here.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, everybody, for thinking about Connecting Kids to Meals when you guys were making these plans. That $50,000 from Mercy is going to go a long way to help us provide an additional 27,000 meals to kids around the community. And Mercy has been a wonderful partner of ours for many years because, as Minnie said, they do get it. They realize that without this access to food, people are in danger, right? That is a basic critical need that they have, right? And Connecting Kids to Meals, we are a unique organization. We partner with around 90 different partners around the community, churches, community centers, schools, and libraries to provide these hot, nutritious meals to kids in these underserved areas. And we are seeing the need increase already, and it isn't even at that deadline that we're all looking for, right? So we're just trying to stay ahead of the curve and trying to make sure we can continue to do what we do to provide these meals to the kids, because they are our future. We need to take care of them. They don't need to be worrying about how they're going to have a lunch, how they're going to be fed dinner. They need to focus on getting stronger and smarter, right, so that they can lead the city of Toledo, continue to lead the city of Toledo, as our wonderful representatives have been doing, right? So just thank you guys from the bottom of our heart, Mercy. Thank you, County Commissioners. Thank you, Mayor. We couldn't do it without you guys. And as Mindy was mentioning, you can come to our website as well, connectingkidstomeals.org, and you can learn access on where we have meal sites for families that have kids in need, and if you want to volunteer, if you want to donate. But we continue to need the community to come out and help us support this, so that we can continue to feed these kids. So thank you guys so much from the bottom of our hearts. We couldn't do it without you guys. And the city of Toledo is a wonderful place to live and work. So thank you guys for caring about our community so much.
Just one more thing. SeaGate Food Bank and Connecting Kids to Meals, we are not competitors. We complement each other. We work very well together. When I have things that they might need, I'll say, hey, we have this, you want it? And vice versa when they get things that they can't use, but maybe we could need. So we are a good partner. We are good partners, and we do different things. So yes, we are not competitors. We complement each other. So that's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Mindy. Thank you.
That's a good distinction. Any members of council want to make remarks, or any of them welcome to? No. Okay. I've always felt that Toledo works because we're a family. We don't just feel like a family, but Toledo really is a family. It's just the right size, not too big, not too small. It's a family. And just like any family, we rally around each other when someone's having a tough time. In your own family, if someone's going through a struggle, what do? You put your arm around them and you help them out, and you rally behind them and you lift them up. That's what you do in your individual family. That's what Toledo does in our civic family. And so I have no doubt that we're going to meet this moment, and I know that because we have such good people and good organizations in this town. It is true that Mercy, I think, deserves a little special credit because they were first. And again, we didn't reach out to them. They reached out to us. Matt Sapero, who works with Bob, called and said, here's what we're thinking about doing. Let's try to amplify this. So, and Mercy is a large employer. I think Mercy is one of Toledo's top 5 largest employers. So that means there's 4 other employers who are also in the top 5 that we are hoping in their own way. And donating to whomever, these 2 organizations or others. I mean, there's a lot of folks who work in this space, but now's the time. I mean, the need is now, and however you want to do it, to whomever you want to donate, there's a lot of folks doing it. Now's the time, because Saturday is going to get very real for 71,000 people in our community, and we're just calling on everyone to do whatever they can. So, with that. I don't know if there's any questions, or maybe you do one-on-ones if that's how you want to handle it. But thank you all. Thank you for being here.